People that can best monetize their influence are salespeople, right? They get paid commission a lot of the time or bonuses. So when you look at it that way, they have an incentive to go out there and crush it in social media, to build up a robust network and to yield influence because they're constantly sharing content around the subject that's related to their clients' needs and the products and services and solutions that their company provides. And, I do a lot of social selling trainings. I always find there's always 10% or 15% of salespeople, they get that and they're very successful. LinkedIn has what's called the social selling index, and all these things I talk about, those salespeople that are more active in social are statistically, the data shows that they will do better. They will, reach or surpass their quota, and what have you. So, when we look at it that way for the B2B, we look at, we're not going to have a lot of individual bloggers. If we worked for Coca-Cola, we might have some employees that have blogs about recipes that include Coca-Cola, like Coca-Cola brisket, or I don't know, right? In B2B, you're not going to find that to be the case. So I think in B2B, in many cases, the content is all being created by marketing. And the advent of these employee advocacy programs was marketing creating all this content and saying, geez, if our salespeople would share this content, we'd get so many more leads, right? And the salespeople are saying, well, the content you're creating is maybe too self-promotional. Maybe it's just not aligned with the sort of things that I hear from my customers, their needs. We know that B2B buyers are also in social media and they're also doing research in social media, right? So we want our salespeople, and I would say any outward facing, person in your company, it could be in marketing, could be in customer success, public relations, corporate communications. We really want them out there and sharing our voice and becoming more and more influential, so that indirectly they're bringing more people to us, driving more traffic to our website, right? And when you really get going, instead of hiring that content marketing agency to write content for you, more and more you tap into your own internal employees to write that content. And that's where I think it begins to be really powerful, because I think, B2B marketing budgets, there's an incredible amount that's spent on content. I don't know what the exact number is, but even there, we can then look into influencers that aren't employees to help with that content as well. But just from the employee perspective, it's really looking at the sales team. I would look at the executive team as well, because if you want other people in your company to be active in social, it really starts on top, right? I would want my executives to be the supreme influencers. And while we've had these employee advocacy programs for some time, the approach was a marketing-centric approach that said, here's a tool. We're going to just feed the tool with our content, our blog posts, our white papers. And, you, employee, Mr. or Mrs. Employee, you're going to opt into this. And you're just going to automatically share this to your network 3 times a week, right? And employees are like, I'm not going to do that. This is my personal network. I'm not going to spam them with your promotions, right? And so inevitably, these employee advocacy programs have failed. The ones that were successful had a component of training in them, right? We're going to train you, Mr. and Mrs. Employee, on how to better leverage social media, starting with for your job, which are the people in sales, but also just for your personal branding. We realize that you are an employee for life. And even if you leave this company, you might end up being our customer, our partner. You might introduce someone that becomes our customer or our employee. So we want to invest in helping you create a personal brand, helping you learn how to use social media professionally for what you do, and even for, your side hustle or what you do on the weekend, right? And those companies with training programs are the ones where people buy into it. They want to participate in those programs, and they see the value in sharing that content that marketing creates as part of their job. And I would go as far as saying we can now replicate this training program for employees and apply it to those influencers that are customers or even not customers. I met with a brand in Southeast Asia, in Singapore specifically, and they go, Neal, we have this group of nano influencers. They post all the time about us, but their content could be better. We want to actually help them create better content. We want to help them take better photos, take better videos, become better copywriters. I said, yes, exactly. That's the training where you can actually bring employees and customers and outside influencers together as part of this training, where all these people that are influencers to your brand, you are helping them become more influential. And I think that is, going forward, I talked about creating these sort of influencer marketing programs. I think that training is an essential part. And I think the ROI is huge. And in fact, it's like when I do sales training, social selling trainings, I tap into those people in the company that are already using LinkedIn or social media in a compelling way, and I use them as role models. Now you can reach in your influencer program and say, Olivia, her video creation is amazing. We're going to have Olivia come in and we'll pay Olivia to teach, but we're going to have Olivia come in and teach all you how to create better videos as an influencer, right? And that becomes really, really powerful over time. And that training, it keeps people in your program. It keeps them incentivized. You make better friends with them. You add more value to them. You can just imagine just the various benefits you get from that sort of engagement when you include that training component.